Okay, here we go again. This is meant to be some kind of VLR to Shaun Hawkins to respond to and congratulate him on his 200 plus subs, where he asked us to nominate, identify, describe a piece of kit we regard as essential, one we wouldn't go without, wouldn't do without, or just a favourite piece of kit. In my instance, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Those of you that know me at all, or met me, see me, will be aware I have some mobility issues, which part of that, and a small part of that, is quite severe arthritis, very severe arthritis in fact, which means extremely painful feet, which are such a hindrance it can't be described, and I'm not getting loads of waffle, poor me stuff. But what it does mean is there is one thing out of any piece of kit becomes the essential. And that is basically these things. Your boots. You know, armies have been built on them forever. And they say armies march on their stomachs. Well, Napoleon's reputed to have done. I'm not sure he's right, you know. I think armies marched on the boots. And how well the boots did and how well the boots held together. I think they could have had a lot to do with outcomes, because you can always take food off the enemy, but if your boots are in bad nick, you might not get to them. Anyway, me personally, boots. These in particular, you know, I'm no expert. I don't cover any great distances anymore, nowhere near. If I can get around the house, I'm happy. But I would have to say that from a personal point of view, I love these boots. Lawn bits. High-tech Magnum Panthers 8.0, which I think is the length of the Isaac, because that is the selling point. I also have arthritic hands. Not good with all this business. However, this on my foot, great advert there, totally manageable, it's done. Bit of Velcro, not the quietest, but it works, keeps it in place. They, to me, best buy I've made. I got them for just over 50 quid, I think they're recommended retail price 70 quid, I think, ish. I got them for 50 odd. Now, the backstory with them is I got these boots last Father's Day. I started wearing these boots. I've worn them every single day since, for at least part of the day and generally all day. Not got a fault with them. Not got a fault with them. I wore these boots all through the now infamous bushcraft show. Not a drop of water into the boot, from anywhere. You'll see there's fabric panels, there's the zip section, quite low slung sidewalls on them. No water got in, none at all. My feet were never damp. And you know, I think any pair of boots that can go through that are doing quite well. Something that I would say is that within 5 weeks of getting my first pair, I had a problem with them. There was a shim in the bottom in the boot that was a strengthener, and that had somehow worked loose in the structure and it pierced the sole. Right? How can you recommend them? This is why. I contacted High-Tech Magnum, told them I was disappointed in the boot, said that I bought them as a comfort item rather than a heavy duty use item, and described what had happened, and I asked them what the best glue would be to actually seal it up, to try and just seal it up and get some more wear out of these boots, because I hadn't bought them off them. I bought them off a retail outlet and I couldn't even remember where, to be honest. I'd lost all the details. High-Tech Magnum emailed me straight back and said, we've attached the label, send us the boot, we'll look at them, and if it's a fault in design, we will certainly replace those boots. In the meantime, here's another pair to be wearing in the interim. So I got a replacement pair of boots. I sent these boots off, I sent the old pair of boots off, and I thought that would be the last of it, because I'd already had a replacement pair of boots. It wasn't the end of it. I got a further contact from Magnum, And they sent me these as an apology, which is brand new pair of boots. Further up the food chain of their designs, it is the Magnum Cobra 8.0 SZ WP, waterproof. So it's the Cobra 8-inch side zip waterproof boot, and I believe that retails out at 100 notes, £100. And the company sent me them as a means of saying sorry, because the other boot didn't perform the way they demanded the boot perform. So yeah, I recommend that, and I rate it as my favourite lumps of kit wholeheartedly. Because apart from anything else, that is a level of customer service that I can't think of getting anywhere for a hell of a long time. So there you are, Shaun, my piece of kit that I rely on. Number one, basic, standard kit, foundation of everything we do. Boots that go on our feet. Without them, might not matter what your pack is, might not matter what your cooking go-to is, might not matter what anything else is. If your boots fail you, you're in deep shit. Because yeah, we all know about Cody London. But how many years is it taking him to condition his feet to that? That isn't going to work for us. None of us. Our boots fail, we're screwed. I would rely on these boots. Yes, I had a pair fail on me, but the company's reaction to that tells me more than anything else that that is such a rarity, and it isn't going to happen as a general outcome with their boots. So their products I recommend. Totally met my needs, more than met my needs. They are the most comfortable. They allow me to walk, which is an incredible thing to say, because without the boots it would need a massive amount of medication, which I can cut back, and my life has improved hugely by virtue of this piece of kit. And I think it's also demonstrated in the field that it works. Now, as a quick aside, if the boots are too obvious an item, something else that I'll sing the praises of, which I already have done with a lot of people, not comes as no surprise to some people. Every bushcrafter, every camper needs an item of equipment for prepping wood. To me, the one-stop go-to for that would be one of these. I love cookeries. This is a village cookery, not a military one. This is built to be a tool. This isn't a fighter. It's not a combat piece, although obviously it could be used for that, I suppose. People tend to either love cookeries or hate them. I mean, I love them. And I'm also a bit of a snob about them, you know, all these, the ones that are made in Nepal. To me, they're not cookery, they're a recurved blade cookery clone. But anyway, this thing. They come in so many shapes and sizes, they do everything. They can do any job you want it to. They come with the companion pieces for sharpening and for utility use around the place. I've heard people say that the utility knife's useless, sharpen it, look after it. And it won't be. I'm not going to give a lecture on it, but this would be my piece of kit. This can do anything. You can cook meat with this. You could drop a medium-sized animal with it. So people talk about throwing cookeries. Personally, I think that's probably a stupid thing to do, generally, because you risk losing it, you risk damaging it. However, it is a one-piece go-to. There's a guy called Shaun Hawkins. People tend to either love him or hate him, or they mythologise him, certainly. He said, and he's sometimes regarded by some as one of the patron saints of modern guerrilla warfare, and he stated that he wanted his knife to be an item that he could build a shelter with, hunt his prey with, prepare his food, and if necessary fight his war with it. Hello. That's what that is right there. As I say, different sizes. I've got cookery in longer blades, thinner blades, that would be more appropriate for a tropical rainforest type environment, or light shrub foliage. I've got even smaller ones that are British Service issue combat built kukris, which are much smaller. You know, they come in so many different sizes, shapes, forms, patterns, leaf design, blade designs. Sorry, I was thinking of the suricati there. That there really is a kukri for everybody. Love them to bits. Well, as to where it's from, that is from Nepal. And that came from Nepal in a direct import that I made myself from a friend. Right, and that's it, Shaun. That feels as if it's probably a bit of a ramble. Sorry about that. Hope it makes the purpose for which it's intended and matches up to what you require. Right, all the best, mate, and best of luck for hundreds more subs, loads more subs, thousands more subs. Cheers.